Okay, so today what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something that I haven't really done before. I have taught a lot of meditations they're actually meditations that you can use to help you get to sleep. But I've never actually taught any meditations specifically as something that you can listen to when you go to sleep. Don't know why that is. That's just the way it's turned out. So what I'll be doing today is I will be teaching a meditation that you can listen to when you go to sleep. One of the reasons I haven't done that is because there's so many, everybody's different, and there are so many different meditations that work for people in different ways that I tend to teach the meditations, and on a kind of Chinese menu basis, I teach you the practices and then you pick the ones you like and you practice those and you refine them, and over time you've got yourself what you need, what you want out of your meditations. But I understand that especially when you're beginning, if you have a busy mind anyway, and you're going through a lot of adversity like we are right now, for a lot of people this is an immensely stressful experience for a whole variety of reasons. Me going, well, here's this meditation, you try this out, isn't really going to help. And so a guided practice sounds like it might be the way to go, and that's what I'm going to teach today. Now, the other thing is I'm also going to spend just about 5 or 6 minutes going through those things that you can do to assist you in sleep. And all this is merely things that I've learned over a period of time that work, and I've learned about them because I've taught my students and they feed it back, and I get back information on those things that work and those things that don't. So without further ado, here's a list. So the things you can do, there's a couple of things you can do that are really relatively simple. There's what we call sleep management practices. One is to go to sleep at a regular time, but then what actually happens is we tend not to do that. We tend to get distracted by the things that distract us before we go to bed. And the other thing that happens is that the more tired you get, the more likely you are to be distracted. So it's a useful thing to do to set yourself an alarm. Set yourself an alarm to go to sleep at a specific time. There's also another practice which is useful, which is if you set an alarm in advance of that. So what that is let's say you're going to sleep at 11. What you do is you set yourself an alarm at 10. And the idea there is to prepare for bed. So what you do is you do all of the things that you would normally do just before you go to bed. A key one is cleaning your teeth, because you're going into the most brightly lit room in the house to clean your teeth just before you go to sleep. And the genetic part of us sees that light and then believes that it's time to wake up. So it's difficult to get to sleep. So those are the two easy things you can do. One is go to sleep at a specific time, set yourself an alarm to do that. And the other is set yourself an alarm to prepare to go to sleep. So there's another thing that you can do. That these are just minor changes. They'll work for. These are the most universal things you can just do to add to your sleep quality. The other thing is your core body temperature, your chest and back, is ideally at 19 degrees while you're sleeping. If sleep quality is more likely to be ruined by you being too hot rather than being too cold. Think about what it's like if it's in the summer and you are somewhere where there's no air conditioning. Sleep's very, very difficult to come by. What happens in the middle of winter, you get really cold, so what you do is you just pull your duvet over you. So you can regulate your temperature easily by controlling your blankets, your duvet, whatever it happens to be. So you're better off sleeping in a cold environment. 13 degrees is the one that's suggested. Then what you need to do is cool down your chest and back. And you kind of don't want to do that because it's cool. It's 13 degrees out there, which is not massively uncomfortable, but it's still on the cool side. So what you do is you pull your duvet off your back. If you're lying on your side, you just pull the duvet off your back, cool yourself down a bit. And it just works. It's one of those things. Right. The other thing is what should you sleep on your side or should you sleep on your back? A lot of study's been done into this. Ideally, you want to sleep on your back. So if you're doing a sleeping meditation, something to help you get off to sleep, ideally you want to do that on your back. You might not be comfortable with that though. You might prefer to be on your side. So what are the other things that you can do? A cool pillow is better than a warm pillow. So you flip your pillow over so that you've got the cool side. There's a reasonably expensive device. There's a thing called a chili pad, which is like £1,000 plus. And what it does is it regulates your temperature. It's the opposite of one of those mattress toppers that keeps you warm. It actually keeps you cold. But there's another one that helps to distribute the heat from your head and cools your head down, and that just lives on top of the pillow. So that's a really useful thing. I think they're about £30 or £40. So then there's a couple of little tricks, physiological hacks. I'm a big fan of physiological hacks because they're free, right? You know, it is a free online meditation class. You turned up here. I'm teaching you this thing. It's free. You can use it and you get some benefit from it. There's two things. One is, this is a thing called the chin mudra. You see, if you go onto any yoga website, you'll see attractive women sitting on beaches with their fingers and thumbs together like that. It has all sorts of spiritual connotations. I won't go into those at the moment, but when you're trying to get to sleep, it works incredibly well. Not for everybody, but it's better than not doing it pretty much for everyone. And the tension that you need to keep between the thumb and the forefinger is very, very light. So if I'm going off to sleep, if I'm on my side, I'll put one hand up here, chin mudra there, and I'll put my other hand down by my side, chin mudra there. If you're lying on your back, you just put your hands on your thighs or by the side, and you keep the chin mudra. And the idea is to maintain the pressure. So if you find yourself pressing together hard, you let go. If you've let go, you put it back in contact. That's all you need to do. Okay, so what I'll do now is, this meditation, I, in typical Robert fashion, don't know exactly what I'm going to do. But what I do know is those practices that help you to get to sleep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to include those in this. And so this is something, I'll probably put it onto a podcast. This is something that you can do, listen to when you're getting to sleep. Find the parts of it that work for you, and then you can adopt it and it becomes yours. Okay, so what I'll do, I will actually start with the bell. So this is what I'm going to call the sleep meditation. So you just make yourself comfortable. So if you're in bed, what you would do is ideally lie on your back and finger and thumb in contact, the chin mudra, and then you would listen to this sound. And you would listen to that because it brings you into the present moment. The sound of the bell moving through time is the present moment, and you're connected to it. And of course, what you do is you close your eyes and you imagine that you're somewhere really, really dark. You kind of think to yourself, why is that? Got my eyes closed and it's a dark room. But the mind is a very powerful thing. So thinking of a dark environment is the thing to do. Some people imagine they're in a cave. Other people imagine they're in a dark Gothic hall. You can imagine that you're in a boat bobbing up and down in the centre of a lake late at night, very, very dark. So dark that it's completely black, and that if you were to open your eyes you wouldn't be able to see anything. Maintain the pressure, finger and thumb, very, very gentle pressure. And what you do is bring your attention to the space between the eyes. While you're maintaining your awareness of that space, there's another physiological hack, and that is to place your tongue very gently up against the sharp part of the bottom teeth so that it's in contact with the back of the top teeth. And bring your attention to the movement of the belly. The rising and falling of the belly. There are these things happening. You're in a very, very dark place. You're aware of the space between your eyes. Your fingers and thumbs are in contact very, very gently. And you're noticing the movement of the belly, rising and falling. Tongues up against the sharp part of the bottom teeth. You're just noticing the breath rising and falling. And now imagine that you're covered with whatever the most comfortable thing that you can possibly imagine is. Silk or Egyptian cotton sheets or fur. Whatever it is you imagine is the most comfortable thing, and you're wrapped in it, in this dark place. You're breathing, belly's rising and falling. You're aware of the space between your eyes. Your finger and thumb tips are in contact. And allow yourself to become aware of the area around the face and the neck and the shoulders. What you're doing is you're noticing how much tension there is there. And however much tension there is there, what you're going to do is gently release it on the out breath. I'm going to do that in a particular way. So you're breathing in and you're noticing the space between your eyes. And when you breathe out, you're relaxing downwards from that space between the eyes, releasing the tension in the eyes, the cheeks, the mouth and lips, the jaw, and the back and sides of neck and shoulders. Just that area. Breathing in, you're noticing the space between the eyes. Breathing out, relaxing the eyes, the cheeks, mouth and lips, jaw, back and sides of the neck. And just repeat that for a few moments. Just a few out breaths. Now, whenever you lose your way, if your mind gets busy, if your attention gets drawn to something, whatever happens, this is where you come back to. You come back to the space between the eyes. You're breathing in. You're noticing that place. You're breathing out. Relaxing the eyes, jaw, shoulders. So that's the start. This is the starting point. This is the place that we return to when the mind has wandered, when thoughts have arisen, when we're in some scenario or memory or whatever it happens to be. And then you reconstruct everything. You reconstruct your environment. You make sure that the tongue is up against the sharp part of the teeth. You make sure that you're imagining that you're wrapped up in these incredibly comfortable blankets or sheets or furs or whatever it happens to be, and that it's really, really, really dark. And we continue this, but the change now is that we don't just stop at the shoulders. So you're breathing in, noticing the space between the eyes. Breathing out, moving down, relaxing the eyes, the jaw, the shoulders, and the hands. Just letting the tightness go, letting it all drift out of you. Breathing in, noticing the space between your eyes, breathing out, relaxing the eyes, jaw, shoulders, hands. And you just repeat that for a handful of breaths. And then again, breathing in, bringing your attention to the space between the eyes, checking in on your finger and thumb. Are they in connection? Are you in a really, really comfortable bed? Is it extremely dark? And then breathing in, noticing the space between the eyes, breathing out, relaxing down the entire body, like a wave of relaxation moving down the body. Eyes, cheeks, mouth and lips, jaw, back and sides of the neck, down through the arms, down to your fingers, down through the torso, down through your body and through your feet, like a wave of relaxation moving down the body. If you have a very busy mind, all you do is you repeat a mantra, labeling, noting your breath. What labeling or noting is when we're aware of a phenomena, doesn't matter what it could be, we acknowledge it with a word, acknowledging that it's happening. So there's two mantras you can use with the breath. One is as you're breathing in, you're saying in your mind, rising. As you're breathing out, you say in your mind, falling. Rising, falling. Another mantra. If your breaths are longer, you say in your mind, as you're breathing in, I am breathing in. And as you breathe out, you say in your mind, I am breathing out. I am breathing in, bringing your attention to the space between the eyes. As you breathe out, wave of relaxation moving down the body from the eyes, down to the tips of your fingers, down to the toes. I am breathing out. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Just practice that for a few breaths. So again, checking in. Are your finger and thumb tips very gently in contact? Are you in an extremely dark place? Are you wrapped up in the most comfortable blankets and sheets that you can possibly imagine? Is your tongue very gently in contact with the sharp part of the bottom teeth? Is your mind busy? If your mind's busy, are you repeating the mantras? I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Or as you breathe in, you're saying in your mind, rising, as you breathe out, falling, rising, falling. And if your mind draws you away, back to that space between the eyes, releasing the tension downwards, starting with the face, the jaw, the cheeks, tongue up against the sharp part of the bottom teeth. Your body and mind will bring tension back to you there when your mind is drawn away. So you just go back there, relax. So there's quite a lot of things going on here. There's the environment, the darkness, the comfort of the sheets and blankets, the finger and thumb, the tongue in contact with the sharp part of the teeth. You may or may not be repeating the mantra, rising, falling. Or I am breathing in, I am breathing out. You're returning to the space between the eyes and allowing your body to release tension in a wave drifting down your body. Just letting the tightness drift out. It's all about the body, all about the physiology, all about the stress. Whenever the mind goes away, you just come back to the body. Mind, body, mind, body. Keep returning to the body. Keep relaxing. Just keep repeating that. And as we're doing this meditation, a little bit too early in the evening to drift off to sleep, then whenever you're ready, in your very, very own time, gently return your attention to your surroundings. Okay, so that was basically that's what I do to get to sleep, and I've kind of developed it over the years. It's a combination of practices. Sometimes I don't need to do many of them, and I can just get into bed, drift off. Other times I need to go through the whole thing, keep coming back to stuff. It works really well if you wake up in the middle of the night as well, because that has a tendency to be a difficult thing. It's all about coming back to the body, so that and it's all about relaxing from there. The chin mudra is really useful. If you've got a busy mind, repeat a mantra and try that out. You might want to listen to this when you go to bed at night, headphones, earphones, whatever, until you've internalized it. And you find it might not all work for you. You might find some parts do and others don't. And then you've got a practice that you can use to help you get to sleep.